before you're saying, are you pre-qualified or are you pre-approved, and explaining that, ask them, do you have a friend or family member who's going to be helping you with financing? That's huge. It's a way for us to understand if they already have a commitment. Instead of asking, are you working with another agent? Ask, do you mind if I ask how many homes you've been able to get into and see the inside of? Huge, you guys. This is a way to meet them where they are without acting like we're trying to get something from them. We're being curious. We want to help them. Same thing with the sellers. I know someone had asked in HomeBot, what do you say? I'll tell you too, and I'd love you guys to chime in too. I tell you what I say. I found that it's very hard to go from a curious seller to, hey, are you thinking of selling your house? It's going to be a no. So I like to say, you know, I noticed that you opened that report that I sent you. I just want to let you know that I've been finding some of the values are coming in lower than the market commands. So if you're thinking of pulling an equity line or considering possibly selling, let me know, because I have a feeling the value might be different from what the report shows. Say lower because you're baiting them that it might be higher. Might not be, but it's still worth the bait to get them in. And then with the appointments, how do we go from being curious and talking to them and closing an appointment? I'm going to tell you two little things that I do. I'm a little generous with me and my team on what an appointment is. Because to me, an appointment is when I reach out, they know who I am and they're okay with me following up. So I think sometimes our version of an appointment is I'm in front of them as a buyer, or I'm in front of them for a listing appointment. That's the grand appointment. I mean, that is like, that's what we want. But to keep your motivation going, an appointment might be, do you mind if I call you tomorrow after you've had a chance to look at that report? Do you mind if I follow up in a couple of days? Because I know there's a few that are going to be coming on the market and I want to send them over, but I want to give you a heads up. Set a point that when you call, they're answering. And when I say, hi, it's Liva, they know who Liva is and they're expecting a phone call. To me, that is an appointment. And I feel like that's a win too. So when you're setting that, you got to be upbeat. You got to be positive. You got to know you know your stuff. You definitely know more than the consumer does. So if you go in and it's a negative and the market's down and they're not going to want to talk to you.
Huge.
They're not.
Huge.
But if you go in and you're like, thank you so much for checking out homes. I've loved this conversation. Thank you for trusting me to give me a little more insight into what you guys are looking for. I totally understand taking your time and doing your due diligence right now. You are clearly a very savvy buyer. Do you mind if I follow up in a couple of days because I've got a lead on a couple of properties that might be hitting the market? Can I reach out to you then? Totally different energy. And they're going to look forward to my call. And I'm a lot different than the door openers that every other realtor is being for these folks. And then my last little bit, it's not about us. It really is not about us. It's all about them. So meet them where they are, and wherever they are is 100% okay. If they are just in the beginning stages, be curious about why, what has them looking. If they're not going to do anything for 2 years, be curious about what's holding them back and care, and really care. And if they want to look at something tomorrow, be excited and curious about what the specifics they need to find are. Wherever they are in that life cycle, make it be about them, and then they turn into a client for life.